Digital documents are cheaper to create, easy to store, and offers extensive analysis opportunity. Then what is it which is holding us back? Let's hear from panel of session 5, Impact of EMR in Nursing and Clinical Management. To chair this session, we have Dr. Nagendra Swamy, SC, Founder Chairman, Medisync Health Management Services. Prior to this, he was Group Medical Director, Senior President and Chairman, Quality Council at MHE. Mr. Swamy has over 36 years of rich experience in healthcare management. He has been the recipient of Doctor's Day Award, Dr. B.C. Roy Award by Government of Karnataka, Distinguished Alumni by Manipal University, President FHA Karnataka, and Patron CAHO, and the list is long. Shall now move to introduction of our speakers, Ms. Thankam Gomez. She is the President ANEI, Founder and CEO Signia Healthcare. With almost 4 decades of rich experience, Ms. Gomez is currently involved in nurse leadership development, critical care training with patient safety as her passion. Certified in high fidelity simulation, Green Six Sigma, and as a master trainer. Member of FICCI National Healthcare Committee and is recently introduced in leadership group of Patient Safety Movement Foundation USA. Various awards to her credit, including 50 Outstanding Women in Healthcare 2017 and many more. With this, I welcome all the esteemed panelists and hand over the session to the chair to take it forward.
Thank you, Bhavisha. Thanks for the introduction. Today's topic is impact of EMR in clinical management. At the outset, to put the context, EMR is the first and the most important step in all our ambitious digital journey, be it AI, IoT, virtual or augmented reality, or remote monitoring. Without EMR, there is no step forward. All evidence-based decision-making, patient safety, learning, course correction, alert rising, all this happens only if EMR is properly and effectively functioning. Here, there are 2 arms of the clinical management, doctors and nurses. Today, we have very eminent speakers who have spent decades in their respective fields to share their views on what are all impact that EMR has brought in their respective fields and what do they find as very interesting learning over the years. Or why in India we are not yet moving at the pace that we should be moving for EMR implementation. There are 3 parts to EMR. There is a clinical part, there is a admin part, there is a financial part. Whereas medical record will be only on a clinical part, whereas hospital information system, HIS, will have other aspects. Now, I will request Thangam to share her views on especially EMR in the nursing side of it.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm very happy to be here today sharing the platform with Dr. Swamy. And I'm going to share my own experience with EMR. And it goes without saying that 2001, when Dr. Swamy and me worked together for a short period, and EMR was there at that point of time. And my previous speaker, Dr. Kedar, it's nice to know ICA, and I hope there will be more ICAs around so that, you know, I will not be complaining so much about the EMR in my presentation. First of all, thank you very much, Kapo, for this opportunity. And very aptly, you have included nursing, because when it comes to hospital EMR, EHR, or HIS, whatever you call it, the major consumers are doctors and nurses. So I'm going to discuss primarily on nursing, what is the impact and what are the implications. So I'm going to first draw out my own experience of working in India. Before 2001, I was abroad, and I came down, got into nursing administration in 2001. I was hired by saying this hospital is going to be paperless. And very soon I realized that it is going to be paperful, because it was so much of hesitancy in using And most of the loads were falling on nurses who had hardly any idea how to even use a mouse at that point of time. Definitely, there was a whole lot of lack of physician support and lack of controls and revenue leaks. I have very clear evidence of when revenue leak through loopholes in the system. And it took me 12 years and I had lots of learnings while working with multiple EMR HIS systems from different vendors. So it got a little better by 2006, but more focus on billings and some cost efficiencies were driven in. But the nursing documentation was still a problem. Doctors' involvement was still a problem. And then the accreditation started. So the documentation increased. Obviously, the paper load also increased. The electronic system did not help us much. 2012, when I was stepping out of Fortis, by the time I had seen multiple vendors, we had big teams who were actually dedicated to work into the electronic systems. Value adds for nurses at least were minimal because we were still complaining. Multiple tabs to open, and duplication of so much of processes, and anything that we asked for controls, the answer was that we haven't put the control. So I'm going to talk about that, why they were not there. And definitely there was no audit of patient safety or patient satisfaction. That any kind of EMR or EHR that we have, the primary outcome that is required is patient safety and patient satisfaction, which I think we are still light years away. And since I left 2012, I had been dabbling with many different setups and training people. So I kind of know what's happening everywhere. And we are still far away from what it should be. So I looked at some literature evidence as to what nurses are doing elsewhere in the world. So this is a paper from US where they talked about EMR that should be helping nurses to become better decision makers, clinical decision makers. Their critical thinking skills should be improved and their quality of care should improve when you have a influential or an effective EMR in place. It should reduce the time consumed. So just now, Dr. Kedar mentioned about reduction of time in EMR charting because it was effective. But if you have a hybrid model, obviously it is going to take more time. And if one party is not using the EMR and the nurses have to use the EMR, it just doesn't match because the entire team has to come together so the outcomes can be as expected. And it is complex system. I used to tell my IT people, why do my nurses have to click 5 places before they can do one tick? Why don't you just get one window? A simple question being asked, I think why these things are happening because we are not involved at the design stage. And go and read any amount of literature evidence. Everywhere it is being told, involve the end users at the design. Yesterday, I think in one of the sessions, it was very clearly discussed that the doctors and nurses should be involved at the design stage, even when you are getting into research to see what exactly works for them, because finally it is the end users that you have to use the system, but give more time towards bedside. Don't keep them away from the bedside. So these were the things. This is another paper, which is from St. Joseph's Hospitals in US, where they kind of revamped their HIS by using nursing process. And obviously that was a quality improvement project. And you can see that how detailed they have gone into to revamp their nursing documentation system. And this is a very nice picture, which I thought was very interesting, that if someone wants to look at the EMR and get it better, to say that, repair the system and flows. It's a continuous cycle of education, reorientation. I must tell you that the COVID that came in last year at least have removed the the technological redundancies, which if it was there in nursing, now it is totally out because everybody is now tech savvy. So today, if someone tells nurses to use point of care devices for looking after the patients, it is not going to be a challenge as I experienced in 2001, definitely not. Inbuilt audit surveys, interviews, and identify causes of system flows, multitasking, time constraint. So that is how they have revamped their EMR. And looking at their outcomes, you can see that what all things they have actually measured by revamping that. Now, if I look for such a case study in India, can I find? Definitely not, because nurses are usually not considered when EMRs are being reviewed. But yesterday I was having a dialogue with one of the nursing heads of large setup, and I think maybe the views are changing. Now they are being involved into understanding EMR. Now EMR and patient safety, they cannot be far away. So when we design the EMR, are we keeping all the medication, the patient safety indicators, accreditation, any kind of accreditation is all about patient safety. So do we actually look at the indicators and how much of paperwork the nurses do when they have to comply with all these indicators? Because all of them can be inbuilt into the EMR or EHR, whatever we call it. It can be there because they are all there. Event logs are available. You know, is it possible to embed them? From a paper full, are we looking at a system where a point of care device is available, where multidisciplinary team can look at one screen together? It's like taking a round at the bedside. Rather than having a file, you have a iPad in hand, and then you look at the patient's entire data and see that, can we look at the patient and make decisions, So what happens now when we have accreditation assessment? If the assessor says there is a NC or a PC, okay, make one form and give it to the nursing, then that NC or PC can get closed. So whether that NC and PC then is considered to get into electronic, not sure, because we are not having that vision. Right now, we are sitting at where we are grappling with basics to running forward towards machine learning and artificial intelligence and IoT. Obviously, technology is not going to stand still. It is going to run fast. The question is that can we incorporate the majority of the care being given by nurses? Can we involve them? There is a specialty called nursing informatics. There is degree courses, there is master's courses in nursing informatics. How many of us know about that? So how many nurses are present today in this Kahoot! Conference is a question, because unless and until they are involved, they will not be aware that these kind of platforms are very useful for them to upgrade themselves, automation, workflow efficiencies, effectiveness, utilization, quality workflow. So all these things, how can a technology company build in unless the end user is on the table and ask them, walk us through what you do in real life, and then reduce the workload that can be given. So this is, I just got this out to say where elsewhere the nursing technology is going. You can see 15 million in grants, $15 million being given in grants for technology-enabled nursing practice and practice-ready nurse graduates. So everywhere technology is being used to solve the problems that they are facing in nursing. And I would say in India, we are very far away. So I did a very quick survey of 11 nursing leaders who are using different systems. So I asked them some questions. This happened after I decided to make this presentation. So I asked them very quickly, does the HIS address all the needs of the nursing documentation? So a small percentage said yes, otherwise rest is all no and partly. So this is the reality. Does it improve patient safety? It's about half. I did not ask very pointed question, they are very broad question. Does it use nursing process? Obviously, only partly, and it is nil. I mean, nursing process is definitely not built into HIS. I am very sure of that. Does it improve patient safety? I think this we discussed. Does it improve nursing decision-making and critical thinking? So you can see the yes is, 45. I would say that if I understand the EMR correctly, this is overrated. It does not help the nurses to make any decision-making or critical thinking. How many of the EMRs actually give triggers? That, this is now time for you to inform the doctor there is a problem with the Muse. Do something about it, because I do a lot of leadership training, so I understand from where they are coming. So these triggers are not built in. how much of paper documentation has been reduced or eliminated because of HIS. So 36% said over 80%, and you can see a sizable chunk that says that nursing documentation is hardly complete. So that is where it is. Now, this is an interesting slide where I asked, what are the qualities that you desire and do not have in your software? So I don't know which software they are using. So you can see that, 100% HIS adoption, 2 clinical triggers, 90.9% they do not have. Risk assessments, 80% they do not have. Early warning scores, 80%. Now, when we look at this, we know that how much of patient safety is being driven into EMR. It's a very classical answer given by various systems. It's not from one system. They are all using different systems. Though the number is 11, but it is rare. So if you have a chance, what will you like to have it if you have a blanket, wish list? So they said, less cumbersome, user-friendly, point of care infrastructure. If I get a chance, I'll definitely make all systems friendly. Now, I will try to wrap it up with my wish list: multidisciplinary team from the onset, outcome and efficiency focus. That means more devices for people to use. Flexible, you can have everything in the world. If the nurse does not have a device, she'll be waiting just like waiting for a BP apparatus. Flexible to scale and evidence-based practices, aligned to accreditation standards or audits and indicators, build in risk management, whether it is admin, financial, or clinical. It has to be part and parcel of it. It cannot be different. So I would like to wrap it up by saying that, who align the technical, clinical, and financial elements of the project from the very start, they are going to gain. Now, this is Dr. Kevin. Could artificial intelligence end the electronic medical record? He's actually giving the example of Siri, and yesterday somebody was talking about Alexa. My all thought was that, now nurses' headache will increase, that who is going to run away with Alexa if I give it to the patient? The inventory burden will come on the nurse. So obviously, we need to be more innovative as to find out what is going to work in India. That's very important. So I would wrap it up by saying that there are nurses capable enough, involve them, ask them what would they like to have, let them be part of the test process, and then see what results can happen. They need to be involved. If their end users are not involved, they're not going to be compliant with the product that one brings in. So that was a marathon talking.
Thank you
so much, Dr. Swami.
Wonderful presentation. Both of them captured the plus and minuses. Especially Thangam came out with a very crucial part, the nursing challenges that she is facing across. I still remember in 2001 when we started and where we have reached now. But all I would like to say is necessity is mother of invention. We cannot wait. It has to happen no matter how it happens. And end users and the cohesive development is the key to the EMR success. Thank you very much. Thank you once again, CAHO Tech Leadership